You may be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 158th Annual Commencement of Millersville University. I'm Dr. Vilas Prabhu, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. John Anderson, President of Millersville University.
Thank you, Dr. Prabhu. On this unique occasion, we honor and confer degrees to the undergraduate class of 2014. We also greet our guests attending commencement at our alternative live satellite site in Reichert Multipurpose Room in the Student Memorial Center, where we hope you enjoy the comfort of watching these proceedings on the big screen. I now have the honor to present Mr. Tyler Burkhart, who will offer a moment of reflection. After the presentation, please stand for the singing of the national anthem, led by the Marauders Men's Glee Club.
Good afternoon. This is such an honor. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Tyler Burkhart, and I've been asked to facilitate a moment of reflection today. Before I jump into that, I want to say thank you to my parents, my grandparents, my girlfriend, my brother and sister for being here. Your support and love has meant so much to me throughout my life, so thank you. When I reflect on the past few years of my life, the concept of mindfulness jumps out to me. Mindfulness is an individual's focus on their thoughts and actions in every moment. Simply put, mindfulness is the practice of being present. So here we are, participating in one of the biggest days of our lives. I'll call this a peak moment because, as most would agree, it's a huge accomplishment. Graduating college is a big one of these. Our parents would tell us that having a child is a peak experience. And some might say that making their first $1 million was a peak experience. That person was probably not a social worker, though. My point is, these experiences are categorized as peaks because they're incredible. They change your existence completely. And they are the justification for our journey. They fulfill us on a very deep level. In our culture, we're conditioned to climb, to work towards these peaks. It's understandable that we long for these moments, that we set goals and work from one peak to the next. We should set goals and we should pursue our dreams. But in my opinion, if the peaks are all you're living for, you're not going to enjoy your life. Mindfulness teaches us to live in the moment and not for the moment. It's an effort to invest everything into the present. Practicing mindfulness will look different for everyone. But some of my favorites are engaging in conversations, being vulnerable with the people you love, reading books, appreciating nature, or just simply enjoying a meal. Mindfulness is taking these everyday, mundane, fleeting moments and turning them into something sacred. And in my opinion, this is how we make the most of our lives between the peak moments. We recognize the inherent value of each moment. In closing, I hope you enjoyed today for the peak that it is. Thank you, guys.
So proudly
Thank you. At this time, I'm honored to introduce the members of our platform party. Please hold your applause until all have been presented. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is fortunate to have dedicated individuals who serve voluntarily by appointment of the governor on the Millersville University Council of Trustees. Will the following trustees please rise? Dr. Richard Frericks, Dr. Robert Frick, Mr. Kevin Harley, Dr. William McIlwain, Gerald Robinson, Esquire, Mr. Michael Warfel, and Ms. Ann Womble. Please give them an applause. Also present are the advisors to the trustees, Dr. Anna Berger Greco, Faculty Senate President, Ms. Randy Krusmer, Student Senate President, Mrs. Lori Deerolf, President of the Millersville University Alumni Foundation, and Dr. Rebecca Mowry, APSCOF MU President. On the platform are the following members of the administration and faculty: Dr. Aminta Bro, Vice President for Advancement, Mr. Roger Brzezinski, Vice President for Finance and Administration, Dr. Victor DeSantis, Dean of the College of Graduate and Professional Studies, Mr. Brian Hazlett, Vice President for Enrollment Management, Dr. James McCollum, Executive Deputy to the President and Chief of Staff, Mrs. Michelle Perez, Interim Vice President for Student Affairs, and Dr. Robert Wismer, one of our most senior faculty members, who is the mace bearer for today's commencement ceremony. In addition, we welcome other distinguished guests and members of the administration, some of whom have marched in the procession. Please join me in welcoming these members of the platform and our guests. At this time, I would like to ask Dr. Anderson to the podium for the introduction of the commencement speaker. Dr. Anderson.
It is a great privilege to introduce Ms. Maureen Powers, Chief Executive Officer of the Lancaster Young Women's Christian Association, to present today's commencement address. Ms. Powers has served for 27 years as the CEO of Lancaster's YWCA. We're honored to have her with us today as the Lancaster YWCA celebrates its 125th anniversary. In addition to her service to Central Pennsylvania, Ms. Powers traveled to Nairobi, Kenya as a United States delegate to the YWCA World Council and assisted in crafting a new mission statement adopted by the YWCA of the United States of America. As CEO of Lancaster's YWCA, Ms. Power oversees a budget of $3.6 million, a staff of 120, a 50-bed residence, and programs including child care, racial justice, and sexual assault counseling and prevention. Her work in the community is an inspiration for us all. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Maureen Powers as today's commencement speaker.
I'm honored to be asked to be here for this momentous occasion in your lives. To be honest, I was shocked because I don't really do this kind of speaking. So I hope that you all don't regret the choice. I tried to say I'm not a motivational speaker, but I was advised to just speak from the heart, so that's what I'm going to do. You'll have to be the judge whether my heart has anything interesting to say. I'm here as the about-to-retire CEO of YWCA Lancaster. The mission of the YWCA is that we are dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. It's not a simple mission, both because it's two-pronged, eliminating racism and empowering women, but also because those are complex problems not easily eradicated. As a way to carry out that mission, recently I've been part of a project of the Lancaster County Community Foundation called Our Identities Unedited. The purpose of the project is to create safe space for any and all individuals in Lancaster County to share their stories and perspectives. Lancaster County is often perceived as a white agrarian community with an emphasis on Pennsylvania German plain sects. There are sharp divides between the way the city and the county are perceived, which creates barriers to our ability to work collectively as a community. Our long-term goal for this project is to change our community narrative of ourselves, empowering unheard voices to speak their truth and be part of determining our collective future. So we set the stage for this process by first asking members of the collaborative to tell our own stories, to reveal our own identities. We figured that we should be willing to do that first before asking others to have the trust to do the same thing. So we could do it through any means we wanted, a PowerPoint, dance, sculpture, poem, whatever, and it would be displayed at the Community Foundation. So this was not an easy assignment for me, and to be honest, if I'd known that was part of the deal, I probably wouldn't have joined the collaborative. Fine arts are not my strong suit, neither is revealing a lot about myself. Most of my immediate family members are scientists, and I too am a rather analytical person. I am also drawn to language, though, and eventually I came up with what I decided would be a good medium to express my identity, a crossword puzzle. But what to include? This process meant I actually had to think about my identity. How was it formed? Well, it turns out it's mostly things over which we have no control, like gender, race, socioeconomic status, ability or disability, looks, sexual orientation. And most of those factors have to do with how others perceive us, not necessarily who we actually are. We're required to check boxes on forms so that we can be put into categories. Take gender, for example. I don't think I've ever seen a form that has any other box besides male or female. But what about the transgender person? Part of that person's identity is denied. At the YW, we've been talking about how to acknowledge people's full identities. We're wrestling with how to decide who can live in the YWCA, which houses 50 women and children. At what point can someone transitioning into a woman be considered a woman? What if a person is taking hormonal treatments but is still using a male name? Is the answer about what gender we think someone is, or about how that person self-identifies? Or take race. We now know that there's no scientific basis at all for classifying human beings into races. But although the idea of race is just a social construct, not scientific fact, the impacts of it are only too real. We have seen tragic consequences of responses based on race too often, especially lately. As for me, people react immediately to my use of a wheelchair and make certain assumptions based on that, which are often not true. One of the most common conclusions drawn is that I'm pretty much incompetent at pretty much anything. The assumption is that I need help, which I sometimes do and sometimes don't. I've had some interesting experiences to demonstrate this, for example, in the restroom at the YWCA. One evening about a year ago, I was in the ADA stall tending to business when all of a sudden out of the blue, I hear a voice in the stall next to me saying, "Can I help you?" "Why, no," I replied. "What makes you ask?" Well, of course, there was no answer to that, because it was the fact that she could see part of my chair under the stall partition. and made the assumption that I must not be able to toilet myself in a restroom that I've been using daily for decades. That was not only an invasion of my privacy, but also diminishing of my identity. Just last week in the same restroom, I was at a sink starting to wash my hands. We have those automatic water and soap dispensers. And there was a woman at the sink next to me, and she had just finished drying her hands, and she turned and saw me, and just that fast put her hand under the soap dispenser at my sink to get the soap to come out to present to me, offer it to me up as a gift. Well, I was already washing my hands. But her immediate conjecture was that I wouldn't be able to get the soap to come out on my own. In both of these instances, the women who wanted to help me were offended that I didn't want or accept their interventions. They didn't want me to educate them on why their reactions were hurtful to me either. But they were yet another reminder of how strangers assess me. Poor thing, needs help. Although their intentions were well-meaning, their split-second reactions to what they mistakenly saw as my identity had a negative impact. I'm sure all of you have had similar experiences where people have made negative assumptions about you because of the way you look, and they identify you on that. But you have achieved your educational goal through your own perseverance anyway, so good for you. Other pieces of our identities are not set in stone, and we can exercise more control over them. Factors like religion, political party, education, career. The degrees which you have worked on so hard to earn and will receive today will become part of your identity. Maybe you are the first in your family to graduate from college. If you want to share that, raise your hand if you're the first in your family to graduate from college here today. This historic event will help shape your life and the lives of future generations. So will the careers you choose. Our identity is partly shaped by the environment in which we work and the people with whom we come in contact every day. For me, being part of the national and international YWCA has broadened my lens in dramatic ways, and I hope I'm a better person for it. Most of what I know about oppression and privilege, I learned as a result of my YWCA involvement. The YWCA provided me with opportunities to learn about how much of a head start I had in my life simply by being born white. Which brings me back to that sticky issue of my own identity and how much of it to reveal. Certainly I wasn't going to put everything out there for public scrutiny. After all, I was a college student once myself. But I did include a few things I generally don't talk about in public. When people see me, they see, first of all, someone disabled, someone white, middle class, an older woman. Those are the things that people react to about me. There are other parts of me that are not so obvious, some of which I included in my crossword puzzle. The first clue in the across column reads, childhood sexual abuse perpetrator. And the answer is the name of the pastor of the church I attended as a child. That is something I've not spoken of in public, but that experience has been part of my identity ever since. The Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape tells us that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by the age of 18. If there are 2,000 people here today, and half are men and half are women, that means that about 250 women and 167 men in this room are survivors of child sexual abuse. 417 people. And then there's the sexual assault that happens to adults, too. Too often, young women on college campuses. By the way, the YWCA Sexual Assault Prevention and Counseling Center has a established counseling hours here on campus every week this year to make these free services more accessible to the student body. We're also working on a student YWCA on campus, which is really exciting to all of us. So here you are, all of you, celebrating your success and getting an academic degree. You have done this in spite of the obvious and not so obvious barriers you have faced because of your gender, race, socioeconomic status, disability, sexual orientation, sexual victimization, or other factors. Congratulations to you and your families. Now, most of us don't just belong to oppressed groups, we belong to some privileged groups too, and the way we see ourselves is a reflection of the way people respond to us based on those characteristics as well. So if we're white, we're accustomed to the privileges of belonging to the majority race. We take for granted being treated fairly by landlords, employers, and bankers. We seldom encounter suspicion from shopkeepers or police. If we are middle class, we assume our public schools will be good, our neighborhoods safe, our futures bright. If we are men, we feel free to express having decision-making authority in the workplace, in the government, and at home. We expect to be noticed and attended to when speaking in groups, as head of household and captains of industry. If we're heterosexual, we feel free to express our affection for those we love. Our relationships are protected by law and supported by institutions. We have choices regarding sharing employee benefits and making life and death health decisions for our critically ill partners. If we are able-bodied, we take for granted access to the world's places of recreation, work, housing, and houses of worship. We expect recognition of our skills, a fair assessment in a job interview, the ability to be part of a family. The list of privileged groups could go on to include age, looks, religion, and other factors. The effects are similar. The dominant group assumes it's entitled to its experiences. If we belong to many of these dominant groups, it becomes easy for us to shut out the experiences of those less privileged altogether. 20 years ago, I was catapulted into a dramatically different world. One bright morning in May of 1994, I walked out of my three-story house, never to return there to sleep again. When I went back to work after 3 months in hospitals, it was with a cot in my office for a year because sitting was too painful. Overnight, I became paralyzed, and for a long time, I had the sense that I was living someone else's life, although I knew my life, as I had known it, would never return. And so, in keeping with the advice to speak from the heart, I'm going to share briefly with you some of the lessons learned from living a life of challenging circumstances after great loss. I was first exposed to some of these concepts in an article written by a fellow wheelchair user whose name, unfortunately, I can't remember, in a magazine called New Mobility. But the gist of it is that disability and other barriers can be a path to growth that we can share with others, if only we are willing to speak out and they are willing to listen. In short, those of us who acknowledge human frailty can lead the way to a richer future. So first, reject the myth of rugged individualism. As disabled individuals, we already know that we are mutually interdependent and that none of us achieves our current status in isolation or without assistance. And holding forth an ideal of self-sufficiency is dangerous and damaging. Second, recognition of our interdependence leads to humility. We all have limitations as we all have strengths. Patience comes from acknowledging our own limits. Physically disabled individuals have weakness thrust upon us. And so we learn how to accept help when we need it, because we must. This lesson is important to apply to cultures and countries as well as to individuals. Acknowledging our society's limitations as well as its strengths is crucial to our ability to exist as one country among many. Cultural and political arrogance deprives us of the wisdom of other worldviews. Third, embrace diversity. Although we feel wholly human, people with disabilities are routinely feared or pitied. By facing the discrimination against us, we are awakened to other forms of oppression involving race, religious belief or non-belief, sexual orientation, class, or size or appearance. My ability to connect with others for who they are in themselves has been enhanced by my disability. I have gained a sense of what I was missing when I was less aware and less connected with the fullness of the world around me. Fourth, we must continually adapt to survive. Disability is largely a process of problem solving, so thank goodness for that scientific analytical family. When one way of living is no longer available, we have to find alternative ways. And with great loss of any type comes the opportunity to re-examine our priorities. Fifth, live in the present. When the future is uncertain, we treasure the here and now. The future is not to be taken for granted any more than is the present. We can become as children who live so fully in the moment, enjoying each day's sweetness and embracing the day's sorrow. One of my favorite quotes is from a haiku by Sonia Sanchez, and it goes, "Let me wear the day well, so when it reaches you, you will enjoy it." What we make of our lives is up to us. We can choose to use the resources we have to learn life's never-ending lessons or not. The choice is ours, and the answers to life's lessons lie inside each of us. We have only to access our full identity and embrace it. So whatever barriers you might face in the future because of how others define you, know that they can be catalysts for you to reach your goals, just as you have reached this goal today. To summarize the opportunity for change we have as a result of the barriers we all face, I will quote from my friend Jane Lee Wolfe, a YWCA sister in Vermont who was president of the World YWCA in 2001. After 9/11, Jane wrote, "Peace only runs free when there are great disasters, when something happens that strips the bars of difference away, and we treat each other with the love and equality and dignity that expresses the heart of who we really are." In great disasters, we pay no attention to race, color, creed, politics, culture, or any of the things we generally use to separate each other. We see each other in the face and in the heart, and we help each other no matter what. We have to see that peace runs free in times other than tragedy. Peace is always beautiful, but peace is most beautiful when outside the cages of our prejudices and preferences. Peace is most beautiful when we are most beautiful, when we greet each other heart to heart, when there is no difference between my heart and your heart. There's a quote from the jazz singer and actress Abby Lincoln in the Sonia Sanchez book, Morning Haiku, from which I quoted earlier. And it says, "The best thing you can do is to be a woman and stand before the world and speak your heart." And so I have. Thank you for listening. Now, go out into the world and speak your own truth from your own hearts. The world is waiting for you, for each and every one of you, to find out and be exactly who you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. And Millersville University is a proud partner with YWCA. And on behalf of the Millersville University community and the greater Lancaster community, we thank you for your many years of dedicated and excellent leadership with the YWCA. And thank you for those inspirational remarks for our graduates. Now, we're getting close to the moment for all you graduates, to-be graduates. I'm going to ask the Provost, Dr. Prabhu, to come to the podium and lead us through the conferral of the baccalaureate degrees.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. As a special note to today's ceremony, we wish to acknowledge the 12 veterans who are graduating today. We applaud their dedication to their studies and to our country. Will all the graduating veterans present please stand to be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. Millersville University students are awarded honors in 3 categories: departmental honors, honors program, and university honors. In order to graduate from university honors program, a student must not only complete the designated honors courses and a thesis, but also maintain an overall grade point average of at least 3.50. Students graduating with honors, university honors, by virtue of their grade point average, earned averages between 3.50 and 3.74 to graduate cum laude, of which there are 51 graduating today. Those who earn averages between 3.75 and 3.94 graduate magna cum laude, of which there are 37 graduating today. While those who earn averages between 3.95 and 4.0 graduate summa cum laude, the highest earned academic honor the university can bestow. Today, we have 3 students who have earned summa cum laude honors. Will these students please stand and be recognized when their names are called? Fernando Del Pozo Cosio. Remain standing, remain standing. Melissa Catherine Mabel Hodge. And Bailey Jordan Wilcox. Now you can give them a hand. Congratulations on earning the highest academic honor. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce Chairman Michael Warfel, Gerald Robinson, Esquire, and Dr. Richard Frericks, members of the Council of Trustees, who will confer the baccalaureate degree candidates for the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, the School of Education, and the School of Science and Mathematics, respectively. Ladies and gentlemen, after the conferring of the degrees from each of the schools, marshals will guide the graduates by school to the stage. Mr. Warfel.
Good afternoon. The undergraduate candidates present for the School of Humanities and Social Sciences have taken all of their examinations and are being recommended for their degrees by the faculty of their school. Will all candidates from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences now please stand? So, upon the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, through the Board of Governors and the Council of Trustees, I confer upon you the appropriate baccalaureate degree, together with all of the associated rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations, graduates. You may now be seated. I now have the honor of introducing Dr. Diane Umbel, Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and Dr. Orlando Perez, Associate Dean, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, who will present the graduates of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences and acknowledge their honors graduates.
Will the marshals please bring forward the candidates for the School of Humanities and Social Sciences as they may now be recognized. Courtney Lee Amor.
Kayla Ackelson.
Miskana Misfin Asenga.
Shadia S. Anderson.
Nicholas Christopher Barley.
Emily E. Armstrong.
Chad Andrew Bartnicki.
Dylan Lewis Barler.
Jomeris Boconchia Carabello.
Tracy L. Barnett, magna cum laude, honors in history.
Andrew Thomas Bowl.
Nicholas Mark Baselli.
Aaron Patrick Boone.
Larissa N. Berenson.
Dina Victoria Bowersox.
Julia Abigail Bowles.
Cody Christopher Broomgard.
Julia R. Boyer, cum laude.
Matthew P. Caligari.
Brittany Lynn Broach.
Alexander William Lloyd Costello, Honors in Economics.
Brierly M. Burdett, magna cum laude.
Josephine A. Dadabo.
Noel Ann Burrows.
Robert Francis Davis II.
Tyler Scott Burkhart, magna cum laude.
Catherine Dennis.
Ingrid J. Calderon.
Kira Margaret Dunleavy, cum laude.
Patricia Canela.
Gregory K. Eckert, magna cum laude.
Dennis James Connors.
Soha H. Elithia.
Tanisha L. Shane Cox.
Kevin Joseph Fisher.
James Lee Kramer.
David Flores Ayon.
Nathan Curry.
Nathan B. Franklin.
Ashley Davis, cum laude.
Marie Feilishben.
William Norman Duck IV.
Heather Abigail Fromm.
James Henry Durborough II.
Colin Gallon.
Rachel Christine Fica.
Marvin Lorenzo Gaskill Jr.
Alexandra Lane Fleming, cum laude.
Nicholas S. Geisinger.
Marcela Duarte Fonseca.
Samantha Gaiman.
Ryan Bailey Freeman.
Jessica Lynn Ginder.
Sarah E. Frey.
Emma Kathleen Golesh, cum laude, Honors in Economics, University Honors College.
Erin Michelle Geib.
Margaret Beth Goshert, cum laude.
Kaylin Marie Gerard.
Francis A. Halligan.
David I. Glick.
Laura Marie Haskett.
Brittany Elisa Garner.
Abigail Lind Henson, cum laude.
Michael Lawrence Grass.
Barbara A. Hernandez.
Andrew S. Green.
Adam Robert Hind.
John Halfpenny,
Danielle M. Honecker,
Christine S. Harrison Marr,
Darcy Carey Horhung,
Miriam Catherine Henry, cum laude,
Travis J. Hauser,
Colin Scott Herbine,
Miranda Renee Jewett,
Amber M. Heil,
Stephen Kane,
Gabrielle Ray Hopkins,
Christopher Ryan Kelly,
Abigail Ingram,
Evan James King,
Paige Jones,
Kayla Danielle Kirby,
Celebrity G. King,
Brittany Taylor Kozer,
Richard S. Kramer,
Benjamin M. Kreider,
Allison Jean Kunzman,
Andrea Cornott,
Nancy Catherine Lapkowitz,
Morgan Elizabeth Lenhart,
Marie Catherine Legault, magna cum laude, honors in French,
Timothy J. Magenta,
Courtney Alexandra Longenecker,
Kate Ann Maloney cum laude,
Michael Patrick McIntosh,
Veronica Renee Martin,
Desiree Maldonado Stamen,
Adrian Joseph Martinez,
Megan A. Mankey,
Margaret Rose Masloon,
Brittany Victoria Martin,
Katie Marie McLean,
Xavier G. Mason,
Stephen M. May cum laude,
Colin Ann McAllister,
B. Catherine Murky,
Megan McGeegan,
Alana Mikosi magna cum laude,
Hope Elizabeth McMahon,
Nicholas Ray Molina,
Natalie Mikasi,
Michelle Morrison,
Hannah Elizabeth Miller,
Kenneth Ray Mulvena,
Alicia Marie Morrissey, magna cum laude, honors in communication,
Michael Murray,
Luyando Musanji,
Ashley Nicole Nemtura,
Britt Birgitta Natalie, honors in geography,
Danielle H. Knoll cum laude,
Ashley Ann Nolan,
Deborah Lynn Overly,
Abby Ann P. O'Neill,
Brian D. Perry,
Raven M. Ortega,
Michael Morton Query,
Dylan Payne,
Linford E. Rank, Honors in History,
Robert Peterson,
Rachel Ann Ream,
Crystal S. Prince,
Daniel Aloysius Riley,
Josue Rulot,
Richard Rivera,
Lauren Nicole Rawl,
Tashana L. Rosado,
Michael Reichenbach,
Evan Derek Rowell,
Christine Brown Rhodes, magna cum laude,
Rebecca Louise Sale,
Amarilis Rivera Plaza,
Jacinta L. Sanchez,
Sharon Ann Rhoda,
Meredith Marie Saville,
Marina Rohrbaugh,
Yusuf Seti,
Rebecca Ann Roman,
Jenny A. Singer,
Michael Rowan,
Jacqueline R. Smith,
Raymonda Samawi,
Thomas Grant Stokarowski,
Daniel Sansom,
Gentry Stoltzfus,
Nicole Schaefer, magna cum laude,
Sean Patrick Strangeway,
Anthony C. Sellers,
Luke Michael Selleck Swanson, cum laude.
Caroline R. Schwab.
Justin A. Taylor.
Reggie Slayton.
Austin M. Tierney.
James Edward Stewart.
Dominic Vincent Villa.
W. Mark Stuckey.
Kelly Ann Volkert.
Natalie T. Swiger.
Sarah Ann Ward.
Angelica Torres Reyes.
Portia Nicole West.
Tatiana Marie Urso.
Justine M. Williams, cum laude.
Samuel Ryan Vincent.
Ebenezer Belena Wolde.
Amanda Reed Walters, magna cum laude.
Kelly M. Wood.
Hannah Garris Watson.
Astrid M. Garcia.
Hannah Leidig Weichel, cum laude.
Rafiq M. Woodson.
Sarah Ashley Wenstrup.
Valerie Zemataitis.
Ryan Michael Wilhelm. Cherie Renee Winslow, magna cum laude. Rachel L. Waltman.
That concludes the graduates from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences.
The undergraduate candidates present for the School of Education have taken all of their examinations and are being recommended for their degrees by the faculties of their school. Will all candidates from the School of Education now please stand? Upon the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, through the Board of Governors and the Council of Trustees, I confer upon you the appropriate baccalaureate degree, together with all of its associated rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Graduates, you may be seated. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Helena Teleyu Payne, Interim Dean of the School of Education, and Dr. Doyen Coker Kolo, Associate Dean of the School of Education, who will present the graduates from the School of Education and acknowledge their honors graduates.
Will the marshals please bring forward the graduates from the School of Education so they now may be recognized? Kelly Christina Absher.
Michael Andrew Duca IV.
Carissa Ambrose.
Yesenia Alvarado Padilla.
Sierra Denise Ergarinu.
Kelsey Lynn Akiani.
Emily Axe, cum laude.
Carly M. Ambrose.
Megan E. Binkley, magna cum laude.
Heather Lynn Bell.
Mateus R. Borno.
Cecilia Melanie Bonfante, magna cum laude.
Caitlin Marie Brenner.
Allison Nicole Briner, magna cum laude, honors in early, middle, and exceptional education, University Honors College.
Stephanie Marie Brown, Sigma Alpha Pi.
Heather Joy Brown, cum laude.
Naquasha Carter.
Russell F. Curry.
Michael Francis Conahan.
Calvin Alexander Castro.
Eileen Catherine Darby.
Ruth E. Constanzo, cum laude.
Kayla Nicole Discavage, cum laude.
Corey Raymond Davis.
Patricia Dommel.
Olivia Marie Dedder, magna cum laude.
Rebecca Duncan, magna cum laude.
Adam David Dorn.
Zachary S. Faust.
Mark Allen Donadie.
Joel Michael Guy.
Travis L. Duffy.
Tyler L. Jenick.
Emily Catherine Elder.
Kristen M. Gladwetzel, cum laude.
Kathleen Elizabeth Feder.
Jenna Lynn Goldman.
Mervyn Latif Fields.
Caitlin Griner.
Christopher A. Jadidio.
Ramo R. Hamilton Fletcher.
Geraldine Jeline.
Kirsten Lynn Hildebrand, cum laude.
Gabrielle Patricia Glenn.
Tiffany L. Hogue, magna cum laude.
Brittany D. Gokley.
Elizabeth Charlotte Kern.
Joshua Andrew Ganetino, cum laude.
Connie L. Kinzer, cum laude.
Susan Marie Green, cum laude, University Honors College.
Rebecca Lynn Knight.
John George Guinea III, cum laude.
Alexis Christine Kroll, cum laude.
Courtney He Howard, cum laude.
Ashley E. Lambert.
Justin D. Hens.
Justin Lewis Lashley.
Melissa Catherine Mabel Hodge, summa cum laude, honors in psychology.
Sari Lee.
Tonya Kellum, magna cum laude.
Ryan A. Lehigh.
Dustin James Kessler, magna cum laude.
Jonathan M. Light.
Erica Morgan Killian, magna cum laude.
Thomas L. Luckenbaugh, honors in industry and technology.
Lynn Margaret Klender.
Christy T. McGlory.
Matthew M. Copenhaver.
Brittany Rachel Martin, cum laude.
Gabrielle Elizabeth Lawson.
Deanna M. Massengale.
Kelsey Nicole Lasher.
Troy Adam McLean Jr.
Hannah Lee.
Mary Irene McGarvey, magna cum laude.
Brittany A. Lenz.
Kristen Claire Medson.
Emily Beth Litchford, magna cum laude.
Russell John Morrissey.
Robert Aaron Markley.
Olivia Christine Newman.
Ashley Kendick Mansfield, cum laude.
Angela Oldenwelder, magna cum laude.
Jenny Danielle Mascaro.
Amanda C. Osborne, magna cum laude, honors in industry and technology.
Naisha Nicole McAdoo.
Jennifer E. Putt.
Cara Renee McGuffin.
Susan Jane Rasick.
David Michael Morning.
Kelly Jo Rebert, cum laude.
Brittany Nicole Moyer.
Natalie Ann Rizzo, cum laude.
Rebecca Marie Okraski.
Caitlin Nicole Robertson, cum laude.
Amy L. Parker, magna cum laude, honors in English, University Honors College.
Brittany Renee Rohr, magna cum laude.
Jessica Lee Kiwi, cum laude.
Lauren Elizabeth Schmickley, cum laude.
Wade Martin Rife Snyder, cum laude.
Jessica Page Schroeder.
Emily Catherine Rissinger, magna cum laude.
Sean V. Siebert.
Paige Allison Roberts, magna cum laude.
Brittany Page Shiner, magna cum laude.
Kathleen Robinson.
Chicory Franz Sainter, magna cum laude.
Kelly Marie Snell, magna cum laude.
Victoria A. Stiles.
Seth Edward Spoonhouse.
Lindsay Beth Taylor, magna cum laude.
Kathleen Elizabeth Stout.
Sarah Tossi.
Amanda Christina Thomas.
Bernadette Rose Walsh, magna cum laude.
Ozzy Jean-Pierre Torres.
Christina Ann Wibley.
Amanda I. Bequez.
Christy J. Wirtz, magna cum laude.
Brittany Nicole Ward, cum laude.
Bailey Jordan Wilcox, summa cum laude.
Seth Brian Weidel.
Tamara L. Wilson.
Hannah Elizabeth White.
Kyle V. Wolf.
Orlando Quadri Williams Jr. Heidi Elizabeth Wilson. Stephen Yonka, cum laude.
That concludes the graduates from the School of Education.
The undergraduate candidates present from the School of Science and Mathematics have taken all of their examinations and are being recommended for their degree by the faculty of their school. Will all the candidates from the School of Science and Mathematics please stand? Upon the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania through the Board of Governors and the Council of Trustees, I confer upon you the appropriate baccalaureate degree, together with all of its associated rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Graduates, you may be seated. It is now my pleasure, or not, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Robert Smith, who's the Dean of the School of Science and Mathematics, and Dr. Kelly Coons, the Associate Professor and Nursing Department Chair, who will present the graduates from the School of Science and Mathematics and acknowledge their honors graduates.
Will the marshals please bring forward the graduates from the School of Science and Mathematics so that they may now be recognized? Grant Daniel Blankenship.
Derek L. Carball, cum laude.
Daniel Ryan Calzeret.
Janelle B. Beal, magna cum laude, honors in English and chemistry.
Tristan A. Conrad.
Kimberlyn Broski.
Marcos Lazaro Cazulo Edmond.
Benjamin C. Chelquist.
Christopher John DeRosa, cum laude.
Fernando Del Pozo Cozio, summa cum laude.
Benjamin Dwight Dunn.
Katrina Dudick.
Patricia A. Faure.
Zainab Amina Elijah.
Stephanie Kyle Glick.
Michael Scott Gerner.
Eddie Guzman Sospedra.
Jiang Yuan Ha, cum laude.
Caitlin Harnish.
Jacob J. Hikes, magna cum laude, honors in mathematics.
Corey Jacoby.
Trevor Scott Hunt.
Andrew Camp.
Jordan M. Metz.
Matthew Joseph Kovaleski.
Sarah Jane Lukanich.
Carolyn F. Landis.
Claire Noel Merity.
Trevor Martin.
Lok Fu Zuen Nguyen.
Mitchell Lawrence Merritt.
William Joseph Rutledge, Honors in Chemistry.
Kristen E. Molina.
Courtney Summers Sebring.
Nathan M. Murray.
George William Smith III.
Kristen E. Ost, University Honors College.
Heather A. Smith, magna cum laude.
Kiran Kupala Ravindaraj.
Andrew Snyder.
Ana Maria Rodriguez Rivera.
Allison Lynn Stauffer.
Mina Hasni Youssef Salib.
Sanel R. Torres.
Jewel Shemitko.
Elizabeth Lee Verbitsky.
Stephanie Elaine Smith.
Peter J. Weidinger.
Dakota Lynn Snell.
Melissa L. White.
Jason Mark Thomas.
Samuel Brian Wiley.
Natasha Torres Reyes.
Kirsten Imani Williams.
Sergey S. Siona.
Alexander Demetrius Yingling, cum laude.
Nicolette Lauren Whitehead.
Joshua Scott Wient.
Joshua Williams.
Austin Weidler. Yasmerath Tazu Walter Merriam.
And that concludes the graduates from the School of Science and Mathematics.
That was very exciting. So how about another big hand for all the graduates? Thank you. That was more like it. Thank you. I now invite Mrs. Lori Deerolf, President of the Millersville University Alumni Association, to please proceed to the podium. Lori.
Thank you. Graduates, please rise. On behalf of the 62,000 Millersville University alumni, graduates, you may reposition your tassels. Welcome to the Millersville University Alumni Association.
Again, congratulations, graduates. You may now be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Anna Berger-Greco, President of the Faculty Senate, who will offer congratulatory, there's the word I was going to get stuck on. And we've been congratulating graduates all day, so. Remarks on behalf of the members of the Millersville University faculty. Dr. Berger-Greco.
Good afternoon, graduates. On behalf of the faculty, I extend our congratulations on your achievement. I know that you are very excited to be leaving Millersville, but also nervous at the prospect of starting a new phase of your life. And so I'd like to give you just a few lines from the Spanish poet Antonio Machado to take to heart and remember. Caminante, son tus huellas el camino y nada más. Caminante, no hay camino. Se hace camino al andar. For those of you who don't understand Spanish, the lines read, wanderer, your footprints and nothing else are the path. There is no trail. We make our path as we walk forward. I'd like to tell you that we, the faculty of Millersville University, believe that you are prepared to forge your own way, and we urge you to lay out your own path. If you look back, as the poet says, you will see that your individual past, your life with your family and friends, the adversities you've overcome, the joys you've celebrated, your studies here at Millersville have led you in a unique way to where you are now and have prepared to move forward. We believe that because you have learned information specific to your major, and even more importantly, because you've learned to think critically, to ask questions, to communicate your ideas, you are prepared to dedicate yourselves to one vocation for the rest of your lives and make a positive impact in that field. But you are also prepared to pursue a series of different careers and move forward along a path that may not be obvious to others, but one that you are forging for yourselves. You are ready for anything. Please also remember that if you need any of us along the way while making your path, you should never hesitate to contact your now former professors. We are here for you. Congratulations y buen camino.
Thank you, Dr. Borger-Greco. It is now my pleasure to present Ms. Randy Krusmer, President of the Millersville University Student Senate, who will bring greetings to the graduating class of 2014 and introduce the spokesperson for the senior class gift campaign. Ms. Krusmer.
Good afternoon. When I sat down to write this speech, I struggled with exactly how I would avoid all the cliches that are typical of a graduation speech. I also thought about where I am the audience. What would I want to hear from someone addressing me on my graduation day? And finally, I thought, please God, do not let me become fade famous for passing out while trying to give this speech. And so it was with these things in mind I began. If this auditorium was a comic strip and our thoughts were visible above our heads, I imagine many of them would be of emotional origins. Many of you will be thinking with excitement about your future plans. And for those of you lucky enough to have already been offered positions in your respective fields, please excuse me while I speak to those who at this point have no idea what they will be doing in the next year. It is okay to be afraid. It is equally okay to have no sure sense of where you're going in life. And yes, I realize saying that in a room full of parents isn't the smartest thing, but I believe it to be true. It is not during those times in our life when everything seems to be going great that we find in ourselves the courage to make a change, break barriers, and push our limits. While I say it is acceptable to fear, it is not okay to allow that fear to cripple you. The degree you are all receiving is priceless, a culmination of the tangible evidence of your hard work, a menagerie of notes, tests, late nights, papers, projects, presentations, and the unsung hero, caffeine. Through all of that hard work, you are now welcomed into the world of achievement, and it is in recognition of that achievement that the next theoretical emotional thought bubbles begin to display pride. It should encourage you all to realize that every person in this room is proud of you. Your families rejoice in your individual accomplishments, your friends may be encouraged by your success. I am honored to be able to address you, and your university, or now I suppose your alma mater, is proud of you. For the rest of your life, your education and what you choose to do with it are a reflection of Millersville. Our graduates leave here armed with the skills and knowledge to take on the ever-changing world around them. It should not be understated the caliber of student that graduates from Millersville University. It is with hope and pride that we look forward to what the class of 2014 has in store. As your peer, I will not pretend to know the secret to happiness, and please do not expect me to have some profound answer to all of your questions. but I do have what I consider a good piece of advice. Don't waste too much time trying to fit into a category or some preconceived notion or expectation the world has set for you. If you become dissatisfied with your life, change it. Do not simply accept things because they always have been. It was Mark Twain who wrote, "The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." I challenge you to find that reason. While I'm not the first, nor, I'm sure, will I be the last, I would like to congratulate the class of 2014 on their graduation today and on all of their achievements thus far. And I hope you will excuse my use of the cliche when I wish you luck on your future endeavors. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Emily Eisenbeis, the spokesperson for the class of 2014 Senior Gift Campaign.
Thank you, Ms. Krismer. There are many time-honored traditions at Millersville University. Since 1866, senior classes have demonstrated their spirit by raising funds for a class gift that leaves a lasting impression and demonstrates the appreciation for their time on campus. In the fall of 2013, a committee of seniors gathered to discuss how the class of 2014 could continue the tradition of the senior class gift and leaving a tangible sign of our years on campus. It is with great pride that I make this statement on behalf of the class of 2014. In appreciation and recognition of our educational experience at Millersville University, the class of 2014 hereby presents our senior class gift. The class of 2014 resolves to contribute funds and resources for the renovation and installation of the new volleyball courts in the South Quad. More than 150 donors contributed over $5,500 to the class gift. You can be proud to say that the class of 2014 will be remembered for their pride and generosity. Thank you. Dr. Anderson, I wish to present this resolution to you on behalf of the class of 2014.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you to all on the Senior Class Gift Committee and all those of the class of 2014 who made this possible. I can't wait to play on those volleyball courts. Now, commencement is a ceremony not only to recognize achievement, but to signal a new beginning, a new chapter in the lives of our graduates. This opportunity, we pause to reflect on the past 4 years, and for some of you it was a little less, some of you a little more. I was one of those who was a little more, and I was a December graduate as well. There are many in the audience who have assisted and guided you toward your goal. Our faculty recognize that every student arrives with enthusiasm, intent, hope, and intellect. And they join us in recognition of your accomplishments in the classrooms, on the fields, in the laboratories, and on the job. These dedicated instructors have provided an outstanding education rooted deeply in the principles of the liberal arts. They have challenged you, they prodded you, they taught you, and they admired you. You have asked questions, you have complained. Sometimes you have failed. However, ultimately, you have succeeded, for you are here today to be recognized as graduates. And I'd like just to pause and have all the graduates give the faculty, many of who are here today, a big round of applause for all their efforts. Family and friends have also played an important role in your success. Their support and encouragement have been inspirational and motivational to many of you. Thank you, family members, and let's give the family members and friends that are here a round of applause for all their support. Graduates, you have accomplished so much at Millersville and are about to set off on the next part of your life's journey. You can expect challenges, but know there will be so many opportunities as well. Persevere. Set lofty goals for yourself and those around you. We are fortunate to live in a free society, but freedom comes with the responsibility to contribute, to give back, to be civically engaged, and to be good stewards of the planet. Now, as I look into the eyes of our graduates before me, I see scientists curing cancer, engineers advancing technology, master teachers educating eager students, political leaders bringing us peace throughout the world, and humanitarians ending worldwide hunger. That's who you are. That's who you will be. We are all counting on you. As an MU alum, you will always be part of the Millersville family. Remember your roots here with pride, and please come back often. I'll even get the provost to buy us some coffee. You have graduated from one of the finest universities of its kind in the nation, and you have joined, as you heard, more than 62,000 alumni who have gone before you. It's time to close this chapter in your life and commence on a new journey. Go forth into the world, make us proud, but more importantly, make yourselves proud of who you are and what you're capable of reaching. And reach for those highest goals. Do great work and make a difference in this world. Congratulations to each and every one of you for a job well done. On behalf of Millersville University, its faculty, staff, student body, we join your family and friends in extending to you our warmest congratulations and best wishes as you pursue your goals. I wish to express, while I have the moment here, to express our appreciation to the Marauders Men's Glee Club. Thank you, gentlemen. Great job. Tyler Burkhart, who gave us a great reflection. Emily Eisenbeis, we always like the gifts. Thank you very much, Emily. The Marshals, Dr. Keith Wiley, and the University Brass Ensemble up there. Thank you. And all of the marshals that came out today to make this a very special event for us. Let's also remember the women and men who are serving our country throughout the world and who are away from their families and friends. I wish all, yes, a round of applause. I wish all of you gathered here today a safe journey home and a happy holiday season with family and friends. And now, please refer to the last page of your program as we conclude this wonderful ceremony with the singing of the first and third verses of the Alma Mater, performed by the Marauders Men's Glee Club and the Millersville University's Brass Ensemble. Will the audience please rise and remain standing until the recessional has ended?
Stars and daughters
4.